Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. Before I start the video, I do want to say please like, subscribe, and comment. If you want to join the Patreon, please join at patreon.com/but I'm not a trader. I will continue on yesterday's video and basically and still say that I am bearish to the low side. We did hit that 452, did not manage to break. As of right now, I do think we are headed back to 445. I do not think we are going to be breaking this trend here. If we do, right? If we do break this trend, right, like a full 4-hour, 8-hour candle, then I fully expect us to hit 452, obviously push higher, right? But for right now, what I am expecting is this end up being a full rejection down to about 445, possibly lower. We also have a daily bear trigger closing today, so that's extremely bearish. You have that on both here and on the Nasdaq. There you go, Nasdaq as well. Yeah, you already have a huge wick on that rejection on 15,833, and you already hit trend. So next logical level is us dropping to like a 15.5 on the Nasdaq, and you already broke lows. You already broke yesterday's lows on the Nasdaq, right? And I think the same thing might have already happened for the SPX. Yeah, same thing already happened for the SPX. Right, we're gonna be closing in, possibly another like 9 hours, right? So maybe like at 2:30 in the afternoon and stuff. But again, we really want this low to break of 449293. In order, if this low breaks, right, you can definitely see a push down, to 445 by Friday. I think we have news today. I'm not really sure if we have news. I think we do. But overall, I'm pretty bearish. You have the daily closing in 9 hours. I'm pretty sure the 16 already closed. Yeah, everything's bearish right now. The 16. Yeah, and the 16 is closing in about an hour and 43 minutes. And the only thing that I can really see about this is whenever the 16 closes, right, you tend to have some nice fresh pushes to the low side, right? So you end up having like this drop from 438 down to 432. So a $6 drop to the low side, right? And then again, a fresh close at 6 a.m., right, ended us dropping from 450 down to 445. And then again, a fresh close at that 6 in the morning candle ended us dropping us from 453 to 450. So 355, right? So you have a 355 drop at that 6 o'clock close, or open actually. So from here, I can kind of expect possibly a $5 drop from here, which again would take us down to about a 444 SPX. So somewhere around this range of 445 target, right? So it would take us down to like right here. I do expect us to bounce from this 445 level, right? I would not be surprised if you bounce from this 445 level and then possibly come back up to trend and then maybe sell off again. So we'll see. We do have a lot of bullish pressure towards the upside. So like I said, I do expect this first to come down to 445. And if we do, I do expect some sort of bounce to the upside. The only way that I would short that 445 level, because I'm going to be taking profit there, is if you have a full 8-hour close over this, right? So if you have an 8-hour close, similar, because again, similar like this, right? Similar like this close right here. If you have an 8-hour close like that, I definitely, take the short, a little bit longer term, right? A 8-hour close over like that. There you go. So I definitely consider, adding more shorts there. But again, that 8-hour has to close over, right? You got to close over. And I would not be surprised if we see 445 by tomorrow or even today, right? I would not be surprised if you see that 445 drop today. On the 4-hour, again, you're starting to curl over a little bit, but again, if you go into this, cycle at 6:30 in the morning and you're still bearish on the 4-hour, I'm 100%, not 100%, but I'm expecting it's definitely a high possibility that you drop around $5 today, right? So you can hit 445 today on the SPX. So I would not be surprised about that. Tesla, very bearish on Tesla. I think Tesla's gonna sell off. But for Tesla, I am looking at, there you go. So I think Tesla will probably hit like a 215 again, 214, somewhere in that range. If not, hit 224 and keep pushing up. But I think 224 and 215 range is open. I will more than likely be entering Tesla when we hit this 4-hour stochastic and we close up a bull trigger on that 4-hour, just because everything is still very bullish. So I do expect Tesla to fall. Apple, the same thing. I'm basically expecting all big tech to fall again, right? Apple, the same. The dollar already came up, retested. So as of right now, the dollar does look like it's going back to like 105.3. You can do the same thing for like the VIX. The VIX again, basically just kind of trading sideways. It hasn't really moved all that much. So if there is a big move, you can have a really big move happen, right? Just because you do have all of these like, what is it called? You do have all of these. Oh, then you have like a small little gap here. So yeah, see, you have a gap on the hour right there. So that's definitely going to get filled sometime today, tomorrow, that 14.19 right there. So I can definitely see us filling that gap sometime today for sure. And then you have another gap here at 1680, right? 1680 gap. And then you have your last big gap at 21. So, like I said, these things are going to get filled, bro. Like these VIX gaps do not stay for a long time, right? Like this gap happened back in October 27th. We're almost running a month now without this being filled. Like that has to get filled. Like that's just the thing on VIX, right? And even on SPXS, which is like the inverse SPY, right? You're already starting to move up on that. You're already bouncing off this like trend here. So I can definitely see us going back to like a $15 SPX. Not soon, but maybe like within the next month or so, especially right now that everything is dropping. But if we're looking at big tech, right, that's a big drop on the SPY right there. That's a big candle, and you're about to break these lows in an hour and like 15 minutes, right? In that whole candle. So the low here is what, 448.90. The low is 448.90. Yeah, so you already hit that low of of when you close, right? So if that breaks, right, you're probably going to like a 448, like a low 448 today, right? And if that breaks, you're probably going down to like a 446. And I gotta add my 50% retrace on this because this is more than likely you're more than likely gonna close under this, right? And that's a pretty nice signal of where the bias is gonna be for for this for tomorrow, right? If you close this under this 50% retrace, right? So the 50% retrace is actually up here at 450.10 of this candle, right? So if you close any close under this orange line is going to be a significant drop to the lower side. So again, you rallied on the SPY for how many continuous days, right? You would have to expect some sort of retracement here, at least back to like a 440 level, right? Like you can, like, this is all great and dandy, but when you have these big pushes, like you have to expect some sort of retracement eventually, and you start making a lot of gaps on the way up, right? So this 440 gap, you have a gap here at 430, gap at 423, gap at 418, and then you have a gap at 410. So I'm not saying we're going to fill these, right? I'm not saying we're going to go all the way back down, right? You have to have something pretty major happen for us to go all the way back down and fill those gaps. But again, you start getting a lot more bearish like bias towards the low side when you start seeing things like that, right? So again, just letting you guys know. And it's weird that SPY is actually moving a little bit faster on the lower side than SPX, because you actually already have, let me see, what's the low here? 448.80. This wick down was 448.80. Low here was 448.90. 448. There it is. That's your low. That's your low. That's broken right there. So your low's broken. I don't want to say guarantee, but I can definitely look. You already broke that low before SPX, which is very weird. SPY's the one accelerating here, right? So this low is gonna break. I'll tell you that right now. This 449.315 level, that low is gonna break, because when you start seeing SPY, start giving you a level faster than SPX, that's when you have a problem. So I can definitely see us hitting 445 sometime today or tomorrow, just because again, we're starting to sell off. We already broke those lows. The 16-hour, on those fresh closes at 6 in the morning, we're known to just basically go down the whole day. So 14, yeah. So my guess is that we just sell off the whole day. That's my guess. I would guess that we can go down to like a 445 just all day today. And we probably hit this sometime by end of the day today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know yet, but yeah, I'm definitely very, very, very bearish today. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.